Hello there, let's welcome back to the Waifus. I'm Sefhi, and today we have our full review on the Killer Wife. Everyone is hyping her up to be a broken unit, a power creeping B1. What is the reality? Well, let's talk a little bit about her. I think she's pretty good. She's an amazing unit. She's not power creeping the current unit we have. I'm gonna be honest. To power creep later, you should have a kit that's complete nuts, and this is not the case. She has a good kit, but not as broken. And then Dorothy is the same, right? They are different types of units, even though they both provide CDR. The moves Litter provide, no one is doing, and the damage with CDR Dorothy is providing, no one is doing. So she's not power creeping like any of the current meta ones, but she's finding a place on the same tiers as the other ones we have. So for example, Dola, so for example, Help Aquamarine, Volume. All of these units now have another competitor that we can use for raids and a lot of content. Before we start though, leave a like, subscribe, and let's get started. We're gonna be live later doing 4,000 friendship pulls. Scarrow, how long have you been saving? That said, let's get started with the D review. We're gonna be going order by order, overload priority, skills, cube, and then we'll talk a bit about team synergies and gimmicks that she has, right? So let's start with overload priority, and obviously you want charge speed so you can take advantage of the CDR, and you want max ammunition. The longer you can delay your reload, the better. She will find bottlenecks on your rotations every time she has to be reloaded, even with the reload speed cube. So max ammunition and charge speed are really, really good. I will say a couple good lines of each is more than enough. I don't think you need to get 4 lines of each. Of course, the more the better, but that is a lot of resources. For most players, it's going to be really hard to justify fully investing into her. Surprisingly enough, this is a unit that moves based on her own attack. So this means that for wells and competitive players, you want to get dupes. Now, for free to plays, 1 copy is more than enough. Don't feel bad because you're not getting a non-limited unit, right? She's non-limited. She's gonna be on the banner. You'll be able to get her long term. Chill. For competitive players and wells though, it's a little bit different because her burst is based on her own attack, so the more dupes you have, the better. That said, I think 1 copy is more than enough. MLB, if she's your waifu, I got lucky. 6 multis MLB. Going to her kit, and I'm gonna be honest once again, this depends. For most casual players and for most people who don't care about rates or about placing in the top 50, right? This is a 4-10-4. Even 4-7-4 if you don't really care too much, right? For competitive players, this is a 10-10-10. This is a 10-10-10 unit because you're talking about more pierce damage, you're talking about better cooldown, you're talking about increasing damage based on her own attack. Sadly, there is a lot of units recently for competitive players that they need to invest on. The reality is that for me, I don't really care. She's gonna be a 4-10-4 for me if I get more books because this is expensive as fuck. Now let's talk about her skills, right? Skill number 1, calm sniping. The pierce she gained for herself doesn't really matter, but the pierce damage she's providing is pretty good. The thing with pierce damage is that there is not a lot of units that can take advantage of this. So for example, now it's gonna be Red Hood, Alice, Maxwell, Haran, but the other snipers cannot take advantage of pierce because they don't have piercing damage. Some people were saying that Snow White, when she's bursting, transforms into a sniper rifle, but that doesn't work. Even if you hold your Snow White burst into the second rotation to gain the pierce, it does not work, alright? Some weird mechanics going on behind the code in Nike for some reason, but this is what it is. Moving into skill 2, and this is where the good stuff happens, right? She's getting cooldown reduction every 8 shots, and she's getting attack damage every 5 shots. You can maintain the attack damage most of the time, unless you're using units that reduce max ammo as she's reloading, you should be able to maintain the attack damage, but the cooldown reduction plays like a little bit of a weird gimmick. A lot of people are trying to pair double CDR for you to be able to use just 1 40-second unit. So for example, Biscuit and Red Hood, right? Or Poly Red Hood, while using D and Litter or D and Dorothy. Now this is funny and might happen if we think about, for example, D and Sakura. But using Litter and D on the same team for raids is not going to happen as often, simply because it's better for you to have a functional 5th team rather than just that team that can burst a little bit faster. Still, this is the highest priority for D because her cooldown reduction scales linearly, there is no breakpoints, same with attack damage, so I would recommend at least level 7 for this. Also, funny enough, we are trying to get like into fast rotations, right? Like bursting faster or using only 1 40-second B3 and 1 40-second B2, but the reality is the faster you burst, the harder it is for D to proc her skill because it's based on how many times she shoots. And there is a hard cap on how fast she can shoot. So it's funny that we're trying to figure out that, but in reality it's hurting her a little bit more. It still is a really good skill, so I would recommend level 7 to 10. And then finally we have kill the target, which is dealing some damage, final attack as additional damage, and then doing wipeout. Wipeout is pretty funny, a pretty funny mechanic with you can either shoot the body or you can either shoot parts or the body and get different buffs. You can actually shoot both and maintain both buffs. If you want to see more about that, you can check a video from Timaeus. He made one pretty good explaining how to do it, even though it's self-explanatory, right? You hit the parts, you hit the body. That's it. Still, this is for people who play on manual. If you play on auto, don't worry too much about kill the target. For competitive players, once again, this is a 10-10-10, but for most people like you and me, this is a 4-7-4, maybe a 4-10-4. When we talk about the cube, as usual, Resilience and Bastion are keen for 99% of the players. You can put those two cubes on literally any unit and most of the time they will perform properly. In the case of D, this does not change. You prefer reload speed almost 99% of the time. It's for some reason you don't have a space on Resilience or Bastion. You could go max ammo or charge speed, but when she's reloading, you will see she takes 3 fucking years to do so. Now, talking about compositions, and once again, even though she benefits mostly sniper rifles, you will be able to put her on any composition you want. The composition you are going to be seeing her more often is going to be Redwood with Maxwell now. People were saying that Redwood and Alice, but the problem is that Alice needs to be paired with Scarlet Black Shadow. They are together no matter what. So you will be seeing schoolgirls with Redwood and Maxwell, and then our new girl, D, because this leaves Litter for another team, Dorothy for another team, Volume going back to 2B and Mast, for example. So we are allowing D on this team to get other units into our raids rotation, which is pretty good in my opinion. Now, this is not the only team she will fit on, even though she works better with the snipers, obviously, you will be able to put her on almost any team. Because again, she is a CDR providing attack damage and providing wipeout for everyone, regardless of the weapon type. It's a super solid unit. The only problem she has right now is that she needs 8 full charge attacks in order to provide that rotation, which when you are playing manually, so when you are manually shooting with Redwood or with any sniper or rocket launcher, you might run into situations where you have downtime of a couple seconds before she can proc again that skill. That said though, I think this is a really solid unit. For a lot of people, this is gonna be a unit that you either wanna get one copy, or if you're a competitive, sadly, you're gonna lose your wallet because you need dupes, so she can scale better her purse, kill the target, right? That said, the review, once again, guys, is on the website. You can go check it in there. There is also some funny mechanics that you will see where some players are just rotating between B1s. So some people are using D, and then they're only rotating in between Tia and Winter Shepherd Ruby, and they can alternate constantly because the cooldown is short enough that they can do that. Now, this, other than being funny, has no usage, all right? At least now. But this opens a lot of possibilities for the future, and finally we're able to fully use 40-second units without having to worry too much about those rotations. That said, that's gonna be it for the full review. Tier list is on the website, review is on the website. We're updating the tier list and a lot of the reviews for the skill priority. So because some people are saying that we should provide the specific breakpoints, so we're updating that. And that's gonna be it for this one, boys. Let me know what you think about D, if you pulled for her, if you were lucky or not. Thank you to my patrons for making this content possible as usual. Good luck with your pull degenerates, and see you in the next one.
役立たずは楽園から追放するのみ。ブランとノワールのショータイムです。天地万物を切るとはこういうことだ。